Buying or selling a domestic animal can be a daunting task, especially when you do not have the means or the knowledge to advertise the animals on buyer platforms where many people can see it. This explains why middlemen are the order of the day in livestock markets, where they buy livestock at throwaway prices from desperate farmers only to sell them at premium price. Seeing this gap, Victor Otieno came up with a virtual marketplace that could link livestock buyers with sellers. Having worked as an intern in training farmers, he had first-hand experience of what farmers need and invested on this idea to establish Cowsoko.
I would go around the country in Central, North Rift, just to train farmers for the organization that I was working for. And every time we came back, somebody in Nairobi would ask us that, hey, I want to start a dairy farm. Can you tell me where I would get a cow? So professionally, I knew that if you want to start a dairy farm, you don't start by getting a cow. But that's what people are looking for. So what we did was we launched an app where people can search for cows. And then once they get the cow, then we offer all the related services and products that they would need.
This brought him to the realization that there was a market need. Buyers need to be connected to the sellers on the ground. Being an IT enthusiast, he sought to use information technology to address the gap. He launched Cowsoko in 2015, a platform that helps farmers sell and buy cows, goats, sheep, and lately camels and donkeys. Apart from linking buyers to sellers, he used his experience and expertise to offer other services to clients. These include training farmers on how best to take care of their animals so that they can sell them at higher prices. At the same time, buyers get value for their money. Cowsoko is a web and mobile phone-based application. The web-based app is mostly used by farmers who want to check the kind of livestock on sale. The mobile phone app is used by sellers who take pictures of the animals they want to sell, upload, and share them on the platform.
So we have a web application, that's the website, and a mobile app. So the two targets kind of different segments of our customers. The people who use the mobile app mainly are the sellers of the cows. So it's easier for them to take pictures, upload, and enter the details. Most of the buyers look on the web app. So the two apps kind of complement each other, although our two different sets of customers find them useful at different levels.
The people mostly targeted by Cowsoko are those living in the urban areas but have a piece of land in the rural areas. These include the middle class and the ever-increasing number of telephone farmers.
Most of the people who work in Nairobi always have land somewhere in their rural place, and normally they want to do something in that farm. And one of the things that they find that would be profitable and would earn them more income is dairy. So for dairy cows, the people who buy cows most are generally the middle class that stay in Nairobi.
When dealing with buyers, the process starts by visiting the buyer, guiding on the house structure for the cow, and further training the buyer on various things before they even purchase the cow.
If you want to start a dairy farm, buying a cow has to be the third step. Normally, first-timers don't know that. So they come in and they say, I'm looking for a cow. One of the things that we do is that we book them in the system and we tell them, we ask if they have the prerequisites. So what we do is that we make sure that if you buy a cow, your business succeeds. So we'll help you with the designs of the cow houses. We'll get you the good cow at the good price, and we'll give you a plan with a checklist of things that you'd need to buy, for example. And normally we also encourage people to have some sort of an investment plan so that they just know the financial framework. At what point should they stop investing, and at what point would they expect their returns.
One other important thing that Cowsoko does for its clients is linking them to seasoned dairy farmers. He arranges for farmers to visit model farms and learn on site various things, among them being what to expect in dairy farming.
Another service that we offer is we have something called virtual farm tours. So what happens is, like, if you want to buy a cow, we look for good farms in your area, and we connect you to those farms. And one of the things that we hope that people do is you get the peer learning, and you know the price, like you get a feeling generally of like how farming works in your area from someone who has been doing it. Yeah. Then another thing that we offer to people who buy cows from us is we organize training. One, we have an investors training, and that mainly goes for somebody who wants to invest. Then normally when they get their farm managers, we organize with the farms that are already working, and they can send their farm managers to those farms for 1 week to just have some knowledge of how dairy farming goes.
Cowsoko has customized services for bulk buyers.
And what we do is when somebody makes an inquiry, we send a team to go to do the inspection, to check on the livestock, the locations and everything, and to find if we can register as transporters there. So once they do that, we create, and we are convinced that we can work with them. We create an account for them as a seller in the platform. So that gives them an access to a selling account for the platform. So what that would mean would be that now that if they have a cow, they have an account. They'll just use their phone and upload and get them on the system. For buyers also, we have people who place orders. So one thing that happens is if a seller posts a cow, then it meets orders that had been placed. Then our system automatically notifies the seller that the buyer that the cow that they are looking for is available. Then transaction would happen from there.
The animal science graduate says that Cowsoko boasts of field lords in most parts of the country who withhold the livestock before they are transported to the buyer. One major advantage of working with Cowsoko is that not only are things verified for the buyer, but they also arrange for transport to buyer's residence.
We have different arrangements with the different customer segments. So what happens with the dairy, for example, we have registered transporters. We don't own the trucks, they own the trucks. But we register them in our system, and we attach them to people to the sellers, people who sell cows on our platform. So what happens is if you buy a cow, for example, from Kinangop, we have trucks around Kinangop that will do the transport for you at additional fee, but they are people we trust who will not disappear with your cows. We have their documents, and we've done the background check and everything. Then for beef, sheep and goats, we hire transport, so we have trucks, and we include the cost of transport in the general cost of the whole cargo.
Cowsoko is based along Gong Road and has partners in Kinangop, Eldoret, Makueni, and Isiolo. Cowsoko is also dealing in beef, where they link beef cattle sellers and buyers. Donkeys are especially sold on this platform for their beef.
Most sellers are concentrated in Central and Rift Valley, and they're stuck with their cows. Then we have people who want to go into farming and they don't know where to get the cows. So that, before we came in, and it still exists, that has given room to a lot of brokers who go in, buy cows cheaply from farmers, hold them somewhere for 1 week, then sell them at double or sometimes triple the price. So like it has been, and it's still a huge challenge. So in the whole process, what happens is that you get a cow that a farmer sells at 70,000, a broker buys it at that price and sells it to someone for 140,000. Yeah. So within our model, we think of like the extra 70,000, we would pay the farmer, let's say 90,000. Then the person who buys the cow would buy it for 100,000. So they get the good cow cheaply, and the farmer gets more income.
The Cowsoko application offers convenience, as it also allows the buyer to pay directly via M-Pesa once they have identified the ideal animal.
We have a payment system, so we have integrated with the M-Pesa. So if you have the smartphone, that means if you want to buy online, You just select the cow, and when you go to the payment, it directs you directly to your M-Pesa, so you only put in the PIN.
It has provided employment to 35 people already and has several other temporary staff members who work to support clients.
In my team, I have around 10 people that I work with permanently. Then we've created jobs for around 25 people who are full-time. So we've just outsourced them from different areas, and their job is to offer services to people who want to start farms in their area. So for example, if you want to start a dairy farm in Kitale, I would attach you to someone who handles farms in Kitale. And his job is generally to make sure to offer you the professional guidance on dairy. Yeah. So these people, we don't employ them directly. We vet, we take them for training, then we have them on our system as dairy experts. So normally the farmer would agree on a fee with them, and again, that works really well for people, let's say, that stay in Nairobi or abroad, because this person would visit your farm every once or twice in a month and get your report. So your farm manager actually works under that person, and this guy comes as an observer with a professional outlook. Yeah. So for now we have 25. Sometimes in peak seasons we have like up to 40 people that just go around. And generally, like, these are young people. We get them from campus. We get them in as interns for a few weeks, and we let them go work from home.
Being an alumnus of Egerton University, Otieno has had a good opportunity to share the dream with other young people pursuing courses on animal husbandry and other related courses.
We get young people from campus actively involved in the dairy value chain, but not as farmers, either as trainers, transporters, contractors, and other things, because farmers don't have those skills. Yeah. So one of the models that I've seen work is where young people come in, make a group, and start making silage for farmers. Or right now we have young people in our platform, and what they do, they offer consultancy. And you see it working. They get the income, the farmers get the professional service that they need. So one of the things that I think need to be relooked at is, if you want young people to go into farming, please don't buy them cows, don't give them loan to buy cows. Look at what they can do in the value chain in a way that they contribute to the general good and get some income.
Building a virtual platform came with its share of hurdles. First, acquiring capital was a tall order. Otieno observes that there is a lot of talk about supporting entrepreneurs, but the moment when someone badly needs the financial support, they realize that it is not as easy as it sounds. The requirements for acquiring a loan, for instance, are strenuous, especially to young people who may not have property to offer as collateral.
Generally, one of the biggest challenges if you're a young person starting in Kenya, one, is the access to finance. So I think, for example, we are doing really well in terms of supplying products and doing our stuff, but I don't think I would qualify for a loan or an investment and anything like that. So one of the biggest challenges here is access to finance. There's a lot of talk on how we support entrepreneurs. Then you take the next step and walk to the bank or to that institution or to that person that says that we support entrepreneurs, then you get a totally different. Yeah. So I think generally people who have money in Kenya, the older class, and they prefer putting it in land and things that they understand how they work more. So one, it's because like the way the system works, you need secured loans, and if it's a business loan, they need business assets. If you look at our biggest asset is our online app. It's like our trademarks, and like you can't put value to it. I've gone to some financial institutions where you qualify for the loan, but they want to value your company. Then they tell you like, we don't have the skills to value an online company in Kenya. So that's a huge one. So one of the things is like we can't access mainstream financing. Our plan in the immediate short term is to get enough cows to serve the orders that we have right now. So that's immediate. What we are looking for in the future is a more comprehensive strategy where we support farmers more on the technical skills before they get to a point of selling the cows. So for example, tomorrow I'm going to Naivasha, and it's generally a group of pastoralists, and they want to sell their cows. But when you get there, you realize that they need to be trained more on how to fatten and how to weigh so that they can get better prices. So that is not just a lot about the sale of cows. So our immediate plan is to create a training model around the sale of cows, where we offer the required skills, and we give the farmers the capacity to improve their livestock just before they sell. In that way, they get more income, and the buyers get better value for money. In terms of numbers, our our dream is that everyone who wants to sell a cow would come to us as like their preferred market instead of walking to the markets. So in the next 5 years, we see ourselves as the only place where you have a cow, you have a chicken you want to sell, we are the first place to put it in. And we also look at everyone who wants to buy a cow, chicken, camel, whatever, we see ourselves as the marketplace where they would go to. And one of the things that's happening, like you're seeing more and more online marketplaces gaining traction as compared to physical market or shopping malls and things like that. So we see the future is good for us in terms of how the internet infrastructure is coming up, how more and more people are getting into the internet space and buying smartphones. So in terms of numbers, our plan in the next 6 months is to be doing at least 2 cows a day. So that's 60 cows in a month. For dairy, we are thinking of doing 1,000 goats a month, and doing around 500 beef cows a month. Yeah. So those are the 3 main products that really push our platform. Markets for donkeys and camels are still under development, so we can't put in a lot of numbers on them. Yeah.